You've probably heard the nicknames. It's been called the Swiss Army chainsaw of scripting languages. And my favorite, the duct tape that holds the internet together. We're talking about a language that basically built the early web, but, is often kind of misunderstood today. We're talking about Perl.
In that quote, it's from way back in 1998, but it just perfectly nails Perl's role in the early days of the web. Look, it wasn't always pretty, but it was practical, it was powerful, and it was absolutely essential. It was the glue that connected everything, databases to web servers, processing form data. It's what made the static web dynamic.
Okay, so what is it officially? Well, it's a high-level, general-purpose, interpreted dynamic programming language. Whew, that's a mouthful. All that really means is it's designed for people, for programmers, to write code quickly. You can use it for almost anything, and it's super flexible. It runs without a separate, clunky compilation step.
To really, truly get Perl, you have to go back, way back, to the beginning. Because its story is basically the story of the early, scrappy, do-it-yourself web. So, picture this. It's 1987. A programmer named Larry Wall over at Unisys just needed a better way to process text reports. So, like any good programmer, he just built one. Fast forward to 91, and the famous Camel book comes out, giving it a proper reference. But the real game changer? That came in 1994 with Perl 5. This was a massive, near-total rewrite that added modules, which let anyone extend the language. That one change, combined with the explosion of the web, made Perl the undisputed king of CGI scripting in the 90s, period.
So why did it totally dominate? Well, Perl was just this perfect storm of features for its time. Its ability to process text was second to none, all thanks to these powerful built-in things called regular expressions. You can think of them as a superpowered find and replace on steroids. This made it the absolute perfect tool for parsing all the data coming from web forms. It was a fantastic glue language for system administrators, and that flexibility is what earned it that famous Swiss Army chainsaw name. It could really do just about anything you needed it to.
But to get why it's so powerful, and, let's be honest, why it's so controversial, you have to understand its unique philosophy. See, Perl isn't just a collection of features. It's a whole way of thinking about how to program.
The first and most famous slogan is this: there's more than one way to do it, or as Perl folks say, TMTOWTI. This idea gives programmers incredible freedom. It's so expressive. You want to solve a problem with a clever little one-liner? Go for it. You want to write a multi-page, highly structured, super readable script? You can do that too. The choice is totally yours. And that idea builds right into the second key philosophy. Easy things should be easy, and hard things should be possible. Perl was designed from the ground up to make a programmer's life easier. It puts human convenience over machine convenience, which, believe me, was a pretty radical idea back then. Perl's practical get-it-done nature really comes from its roots. Larry Wall just borrowed the best ideas from all of the tools he was using every day. So it's got the structure of C, those funny-looking variable symbols and functions from shell scripting, the associative arrays, what we call hashes, from AWK, and of course the legendary regular expressions from SED. It's a pragmatic mix, not some pure academic language born in a lab.
But one of Perl's biggest contributions wasn't even in the language itself. It was in the incredible ecosystem it created. So let's talk about the CPAN revolution.
CPAN, which stands for the Comprehensive Perl Archive Network, was set up way back in 1995. Now, this was a centralized, searchable place for anyone to share and download reusable code modules, and that was revolutionary. Seriously. Before package managers like NPM or PyPy were even a thing, CPAN showed the world how to build a collaborative, open-source community around a programming language.
And the scale is just staggering. By the end of 2022, CPAN had over 211,000 modules. This huge library meant that if you had a problem you needed to solve, chances were really, really good that somebody had already written and shared a module for it.
And this slide just gives you a little taste of that incredible diversity. CPAN is what allowed Perl to thrive in so many different fields. You had modern web frameworks like Catalyst and Modulicious for building complex apps. You had rock-solid database interfaces like DBI. And in really specialized fields, something like BioPerl became absolutely essential for genomics research. All of it built on the foundation of CPAN.
Of course, you can't talk about Perl without, addressing its reputation. For all its power, it gets a lot of criticism for its syntax, which some people lovingly describe as line noise.
And this leads us to the most common jab you'll hear thrown at it.
Is Perl a write-only language? You know, a language that's easy to write, but absolutely impossible to come back and read later. I absolutely love this quote from Randall Schwartz because it just captures the whole debate perfectly. What looks like total chaos to a beginner is actually dense, expressive, and incredibly powerful syntax to an expert who knows what they're looking at.
And this slide right here is there's more than one way to do it in action. On the left, you've got this classic Perl one-liner. It renames Bob to Robert in a whole bunch of text files. It's powerful for sure, but pretty cryptic. Then on the right, you've got a script that does the exact same thing, but it's spread out over multiple lines and is way more readable. The key thing to get here is that Perl doesn't force you to do it one way or the other. You get to choose.
So you might be thinking, okay, that's all ancient history. But nope, you'd be wrong. Perl is far from dead. Major websites like Craigslist, IMDb, and even DuckDuckGo still rely on it for critical stuff on the back end. It powers huge parts of the web hosting industry through CPAN. It's a key tool for bug tracking with Bugzilla, and it's still a total workhorse for system administration and in data-heavy fields like bioinformatics and finance, where its text processing power is frankly still unmatched.
So what is Perl's ultimate legacy? Well, it's not just about the code that's still running out there today. It's about how its DNA lives on in almost every modern programming language we use.
The legacy really unfolds in 3 steps. First, Perl made concepts that we now just take for granted mainstream, like those powerful regular expressions. Second, CPAN created the blueprint for modern package management. And third, these incredibly successful ideas were adopted and refined by pretty much all the languages that came after it.
I mean, just look at this list. PHP, Python, Ruby, JavaScript, all of them borrowed features and big philosophical ideas straight from Perl. For instance, Python's module for regular expressions? Heavily inspired by Perl's powerful setup. Ruby's whole philosophy of making the programmer happy? That has Perl's fingerprints all over it. Its influence is everywhere, even if you don't always see the name.
So yeah, Perl's true legacy isn't just the millions of lines of code still powering parts of the internet. It's in the revolutionary ideas it championed. Practicality, freedom for the programmer, and the sheer power of a collaborative, open-source community.
And that leaves us with a final question to chew on. In a tech world that changes like every 5 minutes, what truly defines a language's legacy? Is it just how popular it is right now, or is it the foundational ideas it gives to all the languages that come next? Something to think about.